Joining the live action momentarily on stage for his first attempt is the Armenian Georgi Dafsian with 160 kilos on the bar. This men's 77 kilo final, very competitive, 170 pounds, 12 stone plus, and I can tell you that into the lead has just gone Georgi Dafsian. You can see him down there, one of two Armenians. He weighed in at 76 kilos 95 and is the heaviest man in this class tonight. Georgi Markov on the second page of the start list, two-time European champion for Bulgaria. And on the stage now is the pole for the last lift from Shramiak of Poland, and taking 160 kilos. Now the situation is that Dafsian, who weighed in at 76.95, has 160, and Shramiak, this is his last attempt. He weighed in fact, at 77 kilos, exactly on the limit, and this would put him up into second place. Alongside myself, David Goldstrom, as ever, David Morgan.
So, two successes, but unfortunately, just a weight too far. So he finishes on 158 kilos.
So at the closing stages of the first half of this 77 kilo champion, we already know that the Armenian, with his first attempt on 160 kilos, has won the snatch gold. He has two further attempts to try and put distance between himself and the rest of the field. And Dafsian of Armenia, 160. Georgi Markov, two-time European champion, won the title in 2002 in Antalya, 2003 in Lutraki, and he's in silver medal position. And Shramiak of Poland in picture there, where he's down in the bronze medal position, having achieved 158 kilos on his second attempt. Now this is Dafsian coming back from a 2-year disqualification after the 2003 championships, the World Championships in Vancouver. Well, no mistake there, and he's starting to put distance between himself and his opponents. Not the best of lifting in this first half of the competition. Already two men, Sebastian Dogariu of Romania and Ivan Stoitsov of Bulgaria, have bombed out, so to speak. Neither of them able to achieve any good snatches. And the total weight, I should say, on the bar, as you see this replay, going to 165 kilos for Dafsian for his third and final snatch. Well, David, it is a class where there are rather a lot of unknowns. Three men actually coming back after 2 years out, enforced disqualification for anti-doping misdemeanors.
Do you want to say that again?
Anti-doping misdemeanors.
Okay.
And so, really, this is a very open competition, but Dafsian, with 163 kilos, has at the moment got a 4-kilo break on Georgi Markov, the former European champion, and Shramiak of Poland. He's now 5 kilos ahead of him, and Shramiak, well, that 160 would have been useful, David, because he's always been vulnerable in the clean and jerk. There he is, with those special eyes.
Yeah, he's got these cross contact lenses in.
I'm not sure that makes you lift any better, but certainly gives an extra reason for the cameras to focus on you. So the Armenians, and there's been a real difference in the Armenian performance overall, men and women here, David. We've seen it in a week. I mean, they're a pretty smart-looking outfit. And, you know, just from the clothes and the tracksuits and everything else, you can see that investment has gone into the team. But the performances speak even louder. Armenia with no less than 5 bronze medals at these championships. Well, very good lifting, and they've yet to get a gold medal, but maybe tonight's the night, because that's arguably, David, a very useful 6 kilos advantage that he's opened up on his nearest rival. 7 back to Shramiak of Poland, 8 back to the Greek, and then Khajatrian, his own teammate, is actually now 12 kilos off the pace. And I have to say, of all the lifters, he's the one who looks the part.
3 good snatches. A 6 kilo lead. But he is heavier than Georgi Markov.
Yes, he is, and Shramiak, I actually said when we joined the action here that Dafsian was the heaviest man. He isn't actually. Shramiak, who weighed in exactly 77 kilos. The Armenians, who've had, well, a week full of incident, started off with their man being disqualified from taking a 4th attempt in the snatch. More of that later. Here's the situation at the halfway stage. Dafsian of Armenia, 3 good snatches, 1 kilo, 6 kilos ahead of Georgi Markov. Shramiak of Poland is 7 away, and then Stamatiadis of Greece on 157. The second of the Armenians, Khajatrian, on 153 kilos, and Lukanin, another of the men who's serving or has served a 2-year disqualification. 2 failures at 156, really setting back his aspirations for major medals tonight. And there you can see at the bottom there, Dogariu of Romania and Stoitsov of Bulgaria. They can't get a total, but they can still go for clean and jerk honours. So, time for us to take a little break. We'll be back here for the clean and jerk, and also a roundup earlier in the day from the women's super heavyweights. Complete coverage of the clean and jerk to decide this men's 77 kilo championship, but already one title's been decided today, and that was the men's, or I should say the women's super heavyweights. And here the highlights of that, picking up the action in the snatch phase, and this Apostolova, Yodanka Apostolova of Bulgaria. The first attempt 105, 110, and then this 3rd lift.
Yes, 113 kilos to secure bronze medal in the snatch, or gold at this stage, but
Apostolova weighing in at 99.9 kilos. Not the lightest, but most certainly not the heaviest of the class. So then on to Natalia Gagarina of Russia, 22 years of age, who recently in the national championships snatched 120 kilos. And Gagarina getting 120 kilos, but unable, sadly, to go any further, David.
Yes, but that 120 securing the silver medal, but it was left to this woman to take the gold with this lift of 126 kilos.
Olga Korobka of the Ukraine weighed in at 152 kilos, but unfortunately the scales here, David, they don't go as far as they need to. So
they guessed that she was 152 because the scales only actually go up to 150.
So Olga Korobka, as you can see, second attempt, 126. She then tried to take Agata Robal's European snatch record at 133 kilos. Didn't manage that, but nonetheless had a 6 kilo advantage going into the second half. And so too the second half, the clean and jerk, and one of the more promising lifters for the new generation of German lifters, Kathleen Shopper, former javelin athlete, opening up with 125 kilos, going 130, and then this excellent effort.
Yes, which earned her the bronze medal on the clean and jerk, and was a good boost to the new up-and-coming German team.
Yeah, real delight there. Getting a bronze medal in an individual discipline, it may not seem a lot, but at this stage, the German team having to really be rebuilt from scratch, a very important moment. So Gagarina onto the clean and jerk for Russia, and 140 kilos, and then this second attempt at 151, once again securing the silver medal position, but that second attempt failure costing her any chance that she might have had of closing up on Korobka. And so it was this really impressive lady from the Ukraine, 126 kilos in the snatch. Korobka, 152 kilos, 160, and then that European clean and jerk record to take the record away from Poland's Agata Robal. So we're going to take a little break, and we should be back live with the men's 77 clean and jerk in about 7 minutes. Morgan, together with myself, David Goldstrom, and now I can promise you, after one more break, uninterrupted coverage of the clean and jerk. So apologies to lots of you out there for not arriving a little earlier, but as ever, Eurosport with a packed program of sport. Here, few sights and sounds of the first half of the competition, the men's snatch. To Vladislavovo for the men's 77 clean and jerk championship, which will decide the overall 77 kilo title for the 2006 Europeans. David Morgan, together with myself, David Goldstrom. Thank you to those of you who've taken time to send us in an emails to question@weightlifting.de, and a question for you, David, from Damien. Regulations on the belts that the guys use. Any regulations?
No, I don't think there's any regulations now. They used to sort of have regulations on length of bandages and this kind of thing. No regulations now.
That's the situation. Davtyan of Armenia with a 6 kilo advantage over the two-time European champion from Bulgaria, Georgi Markov, with Krzysztof Shramiak of Poland in the bronze medal position at this particular time, and then the Greek lifter in fourth place. Two men at the bottom there who've bombed out, and their only chance of honours tonight, Dogario and Stoitsev, to go for clean and jerk individual medals. But as ever, it's the overall championship that matters most. Now, just a bit of housekeeping to do before we get underway. Last evening, if you were with us for the 69 kilo class, I announced that the final lift of Gennady Oleshuk, which was an attempt at 197 kilos, was a world record. It wasn't. It was a European record. But the confusion comes about because there are two charts, one for the world records before the 1 kilo rule was brought in, and a set of records for after the 1 kilo rule was brought in last May. But in fact, it is a Chinese lifter from the Asian Games from 2003 who holds that clean and jerk world record at 197.5 kilos. And unfortunately for Belarus and Alexander Kurlovich, who leads the Belarus team, he asked for the world record to be loaded onto the bar. They thought it was 197, so that's what they loaded because it said the world standard, and that's what was put on the bar. In fact, they should have loaded 198 because he could have easily lifted that and taken the world record. So here we go, the clean and jerk phase of this 77 kilo championship, and I think, David, a really mixture of success and failure in the first half means that this competition is still very open in terms of the medals. Davtyan of Armenia, well, 3 good lifts, he's got a 6 kilo advantage, but let's see how he does in the clean and jerk. So here is the Greek Spiridon Stamatiadis in 4th place.
Touch of the Pyros there.
I was going to say, I wonder who he's been watching. But secures the total. So 327 the total, and by virtue of that effort goes ahead of all of the men who performed earlier in the B group. Janos Bananye of Hungary had 324, Andrei Gutu of Moldavia 318, and Abdullayev of Azerbaijan 310, Amar Music of Croatia 307, Maniedov 305, and Giuseppe Pico of Italy 301. So they've all been surpassed now.
Dla mnie koledzy czerwone pierścienie 175 plus łatka na kilometry 2 kg.
So clearly Spiros Stamatiadis perhaps not as strong in this phase as he was effective in the first half. Christoph Yakovu in the background there, just keeping an eye on the board. The bar going to 175 kilos, and it's Konstantin Gerasimov who managed only one good snatch attempt, 140 kilos.
No, did two, did a 35-40 and missed the 45.
My apologies. 5th in Europe in the Junior European Championships last year, when he snatched 143 and clean and jerked 181 kilos. So at the age of 20, David, you would expect him to be able to move forward, but you know, on the evidence of the snatch attempts, maybe his personal best of 186 will be hard to reach today. So gets a total, and 315 puts him into overall 4th place at the moment. And getting ready in the wings, Jose Casado for Spain. Well, David, this was very much your category, at the height of your powers. So
yes, well, it was the category was 75 or it was 82.5, so this is kind of in the middle.
So Casado coming on at 175 kilos. We talk about your Commonwealth Games Championships, David, but we tend perhaps not to mention, because you're too modest, aren't you, that you were, what, 4th in the Olympic Games on 2 occasions and 4th in the World Championships. So close to medals, so frustrating. Casado, I mean, you still lift in the Masters, don't you?
Oh yes, when the mood takes me.
So when you look at these men and the weights they're lifting, still got that bit of hunger?
No, because I think you've got to. I think everything's relative. You know, there comes a time when it starts to get away from you, and I think lifting in the Masters is realistic, because obviously you're lifting against people same age that are kind of putting in the same effort.
Yeah, but I know that, you know, when the Commonwealth Games were on recently, you won 5 titles. You ultimately looked at what it would have taken to have won a 6th title, and you reckon you could have done that, couldn't you?
Oh, I think that would have been within my range, but obviously Commonwealth Games is different to World or European Championships. But I think with the Commonwealth Games, having done 6 Commonwealth Games, I think a 7th would have probably been. There does have to come a time when you call it a day. Good balance. Now, can he stand up? Does he have the leg power? Well, all that effort. There's a few athletes that use that system, and of course the advantage is that in a way the bar doesn't have to travel up at all. You just push yourself under it. But the disadvantage is that first of all, you have to be very, very supple in the shoulders, and secondly, the bar has to be in exactly the right place. And of course, thirdly, you've got to stand up from that deep squat twice as opposed to just once. So advantages and disadvantages. Really worked hard, just didn't really have the leg strength to stand up and control it.
Yeah, but wasn't prepared to give in. He really gave it his all. Another email in from Colin down in the south of Spain. Thanks very much, Colin. You were talking, well, your email says you unfortunately missed Michaela Breeze's performance. Well, she came very clear. You've asked me just to run through that, which I'm happily do on this little pause here. Michaela, 98 kilos in the snatch, failed the 2nd attempt, but got the 3rd one. We then went on to the clean and jerk, where she did 117, 120, 122, and that totaled her up with 220. The sad thing, really, although she got the medal, the bronze medal in the snatch, was that she just missed out on the overall medals by 1 kilo to Vanda Maslovska of the Ukraine. So Michaela, a very, very good 4th, and surely an overall medal won't be too long coming her way. Thanks, Colin. Glad to hear the weather's good. It's very good where we are as well. So, 3rd and final attempt for this gutsy Greek. Now, can he get this 175 kilos? Overall leader at the moment with 327. Now.
Come on, needs to stand up. Come on, stand.
Oh.
No.
It's actually the combination of all three attempts that finally, I think, was his undoing. But nonetheless, he is still in first place, as you can see, with 3:27. But quite a long way to go before we see where he will finally end up. He's been brought on steadily by Krzysztof Yakovu, 25 years of age. Better things to come. So, Gerasimov to push himself up from 5th, where he is now, to 4th. Gerasimov from Lithuania, relatively inexperienced, but as I mentioned earlier on, David, at his very best 186 kilos would be possible, but he's clearly not at his very best. So, Casado for Spain. Spain 4th in the medal table, thanks to particularly Estefania Juan, the women's 48 kilo champion at the beginning, or I should say last Tuesday, the first day of competition here. So 180 kilos on the bar for Casado, currently in 2nd place. This would take him up to 3:30, put him in the lead. Good, and he's new to the category, David. I mean, in the World Championships he totaled up 3:07, but he was lifting in the 69 kilo class. More recently,
3:30 already.
Yeah, more recently in the European Union Championships, Bischofshofen, he went. That was really his first outing in the 77s, and he totaled up 3:15. So this is good progress, actually. Once again, very encouraging to see good efforts from the Spanish men. I mean, the women have been making their presence felt on the European stage for a while, but the men's team has taken a while to catch up. So that's very good indeed. He leads 3:30 from Stamatiadis of Greece. And here's Gerasimov to try again at 180. Currently down in 5th place, behind a couple of men, one Hungarian and one Moldavian from the B group who competed earlier today. Saves today. So another couple of kilos going on the bar. Quite interesting to see the board out back, actually, David, to see how the tactics are going, because I think this is another competition where the coaches have got to play their part by really keeping a close eye on what's going on. Bulgarians who've had, by their traditionally high standards, very, very little success. And Georgi Markov, well, he'd be one of their banker bets if he was anywhere near like his very best. But what was your assessment of him in the first half of the competition?
Well, just the same as all the Bulgarians at the moment. They're all down, aren't they, on what we've seen in the past.
So Casado, this would take him to 332. That's pity, but 4 out of 6. And Casado finishes on a total of 330. But not bad considering that this is his first really serious competition in the new weight category. Weighed in at 76 kilos 25, so there's a little bit there that he can afford. So the man from Seville now in the wings and out onto the stage, the first of 2 Armenians. This is Kashatrian with 153 kilos from the first half of the competition, in 5th place at the halfway stage. Something of an unknown quantity, hasn't really competed at any serious international level for a long, long time. Well, it seems to be a favoured technique tonight, David. 185 secures his total, takes him right to the top of the leaderboard with 338. And with Dafsian, his teammate, leading after the snatch phase, the Armenians in a particularly good position at the moment with their lifters in this category. European records, well, 210, the European clean and jerk record. You can remember that, David, because it was Oleg Parapechenov in Trenchin at the European Championships in 2001. I think we were well impressed with him. And of course, he ultimately ended up taking the bronze medal at the Olympic Games behind the Turk Tana Tsar, who, like all the Turkish team at the moment, is under a 9-month suspension. Georgi Markov. And goes ahead of Kashatrian of Armenia by 6 kilos. Then Casado of Spain now down on 330. Sense a bit of relief there in the Bulgarian camp that he got the first one in. What do you think, David? How much more?
Ooh. Well, maybe another 10 kilos. Still dangerous.
Yeah, because look at him, 10 kilos, but it really depends on what Dafsian can produce, doesn't it? 10 kilos might be enough. Well, now, if you're a Polish fan, hold your breath. Well, hold your breath, cross your fingers. hope that this is going to be a good night for Krzysztof Strumiak of Poland, because his record in the clean and jerk phases of major competitions, particularly in recent times, has not been good. In Doha last year, he bombed out and didn't get a total. Well, 187 kilos, that's 1 kilo less than he attempted in Doha. He's got the 3 white lights, so maximum relief in the Polish camp and amongst all the fans in the hall here, because he's gone into first place, but more importantly, he's got those 345 kilos. What do you think, David?
Well, it's nice to see him make a total.
It is nice to see him make a total, but you know, we're just talking about maybe Markov another 10. Do you think he can make another 5, 6 kilos?
Time will tell.
He's actually got a personal best of 195. So if you could get near to that, it would be extremely good. So far, all the Polish medals thanks to the women's division, in particular Aleksandra Klinowska and Dominika Misterska. But Strumiak, well, apart from not totaling in Doha, he also had a failure in the Olympic Games, and before that the Junior World Championships. So really good to see him with a total and 2 attempts to come. Now Stoitsev in picture there, and all he can go for are clean and jerk honours, because he failed to get any of his 3 snatch attempts. Tried 150 kilos on 3 occasions and none of them successful. The younger of the 2 Bulgarians at 21 years of age, and coming down, David, from 85 kilos, so maybe that's been his undoing. He sort of yo-yoed 2004 in the Junior European Championships. He won the title at this weight category, 77 kilos, and he clean and jerked 187.5 kilos on his way to a 337.5 total. But last year he reverted to, or went up to 85 kilos and actually clean and jerked 196. But I have to say, I'm not sure whether 196 is there today.
Oh, no, he looks pretty good on the clean and jerk.
We shall see.
Individual medals, of course, so worth carrying on.
Now, here's the half-time leader, Georgi Dapsian of Armenia, 190 kilos. And still the Russian in the wings, Lukanin, to start. Well, that puts Dapsian into second place in the clean and jerk because he's a little bit heavier than Stoitsov of Bulgaria. But overall, of course, he re-establishes himself at the top of the leaderboard with 355, which is 10 kilos ahead of Krzysztof Shramiak. In bronze medal position at the moment, Georgi Markov just a kilo down. Just confirmation that we won't be seeing Dagariu of Romania in the clean and jerk. He's retired. And this is Khachaturian of Armenia. Khachaturian at the moment overall fourth place. 338 kilos. This is an extra 6 kilos, so this would take him up to 344 and would lift him into third place, just ahead of Georgi Markov.
Well, ragged but effective technique.
So at the moment, Armenians in gold and bronze, still a ways to go. Yeah, it's been a week of different emotions here for the Armenians. The opening day, their man Tamazian having an unheard of fourth attempt. That was cancelled, and eventually his bronze medal went to the Hungarian. And of course, the other very difficult occasion, the loss of the Armenian aircraft into the Black Sea with no survivors, which was respected with a minute's silence before tonight's competition started. So Stoitsov and Markov representing Bulgaria. This is Markov, 192 kilos.
I'm not sure if they're going to give him that. Give it the left arm. Oh, 3 whites.
3 white lights, takes him to 351, moves him up into second place, weighed in at 76 kilos 75, so he's lighter than Dapsian of Armenia, who continues to lead, but Markov's gone ahead of Shramiak of Poland, and Khachaturian of Armenia down to fourth place. In the clean and jerk, though, Georgi Markov in the lead at the moment, of course, with 1 attempt to go. And still, Buchanin of Russia, David, who hasn't even started his clean and jerk attempts. And this is interesting because Buchanin had posted 190, so clearly the warm-up seems to have gone very well for him, but he needs to make up a lot of ground. So Shramiak, 192, so 5 kilos, the increase for this second attempt. Well, is he putting the hoodoo to bed here? Well,
puts him on 350.
Yeah, it's interesting though, it doesn't really change his overall position. He's still in bronze medal. He's 1 kilo down on Georgi Markov. It wouldn't have, we would have had to have taken 2 extra kilos to go ahead of Markov, because he's that little bit heavier, the heaviest man in the class. But now he's got 1 attempt, so I guess all he can do, David, is observe with his coaches and then, you know, go for it basically. I mean, he's got the bronze medal from the snatch.
Wyższa 194 poproszę. Quadratr na 2 kg zawodnik. Georgi Markov, Bułgaria.
So Markov, third and final attempt. Well, I'm fascinated. No news from backstage about Lukanin. I'd really like to see that board in terms of the Russian. Well, Lukanin in the national championships, David, in Kazan, that was earlier in the year, clean and jerked 2:11. So that may be why we haven't seen him. I just hope he's not going to come in at an over-ambitious starter. So Markov 194. Not to be, and no third European title for Georgi Markov. Markov, Olympic silver medalist in Sydney at 69 kilos, world champion in this weight class in 2002 in Antalya, and also twice European champion. But at the moment, he stays in the silver medal position, and surely it must be time for the Russian.
So if he did 2:11 in the Russian Championship, he unofficially broke the world record.
It is unofficial because you can't break a record in those sorts of competitions, but that's what the stats say. Thanks to Hilmar Berger, our statistician, who helps us a great deal with matters like that. Now, Lukanin in 6th place, only 152 kilos to carry forward. Over-ambitious?
Well, if he's done 2:11, you would have thought that would have been a piece of cake. What did he actually snatch in the Russian Championships? Because he did 152 here, so
157.
157.
Because he had 2 attempts. Lukanin at 156 and missed both. So it's credible. Just may not be possible on this night, but Dafsian sprightly onto the stage for another 5 kilos. And this would really enhance his lead. It would take him to 360 and give him a 9 kilo break over Georgi Markov, with Krzysztof Szramiak of Poland 10 kilos away in the bronze medal position. So this could be the good night lift for just about everybody. Well, that's very strong overhead. And he's much more comfortable. That was better than the first one. And 195 kilos, and he's still got one more attempt. 360. Well, the European record total is 377. Plamen Yelyashkov. Achieved in Doha. Last season, and well, Lukanin, he can't afford to miss this, David. He really can't afford to miss this. As you can see from the graphic there, it will only take him up into 4th place.
It's better.
So now he's on the edge. He's 3 kilos behind Krzysztof Shramiak of Poland. He's lighter than Krzysztof Shramiak of Poland. So all he needs is those 3 kilos. However, I wonder, David, whether Shramiak can make it just that little bit more difficult. Right, 195. This is absolutely on his lifetime best in competition. So, this for 353, which would put him into silver medal position. Come on! Well, come on! Oh dear. Oh, I really thought he was going to do that, David.
Did all the hard work.
Oh, and that would have guaranteed him an overall medal. As it is, now he's vulnerable. He's still in 3rd place. What a shame.
197 kg na sztangę.
I almost thought he'd stood still long enough to have been given that. Here we go. What do you think?
Still moving.
What a pity. What a real shame, because he's worked so hard tonight. It's really raised his game. So now his destiny lies in the hands of others, and Khachaturian for Armenia. Now, Khachaturian at the moment is down in 5th place on 344 kilos. So this is 6 kilos more, take him to 350, and by virtue of lighter body weight would push Shramiak out of the bronze medal position.
So the buzzer went off for an elbow knee touch there.
Yeah. So Polish fans breathe another sigh of relief. So Shramiak finishes on 344. Now, interestingly enough here, David, we've still got lurking in the wings Stoitsov of Bulgaria, who can't total but can do damage in the clean and jerk.
I think he's just going to wait, isn't he, and see what he needs for a medal, gold medal maybe.
So the situation at the moment in terms of the overall championship, Dafsian with 1 lift left, and also Vladislav Lukanin of Russia. Both men have 1 attempt. Stoitsov has got 2 efforts left in respect of his quest for a clean and jerk honour. But the overall title at the moment, well, it's in the hands of Daftian. Lukanin in 4th place, but he's only 3 kilos off the overall bronze, 4 kilos off the overall silver, but he's a full 13 kilos away from the gold. So Stoitsev raises the stakes here, David. 200. 201 there for Lukanin. Dafsian just being written up. Wow, what a pity.
200.
So Stoitsev. He weighed in at 76.55. So he's heavier than Lukanin, but he's lighter than Dafsian. So he gets this, David, and he's definitely got a clean and jerk medal. He'll be in the lead, but that may not necessarily be the end of it. That's Clara Ruano, the central referee from Spain. 5 seconds, 4. Well, he's got one more go at it, and I guess, David, he's going to have to do this weight again. So 3 lifts, 3 men. Stoitsev looking for a clean and jerk medal. Dafsian and Lukanin, well, their focus is on the overall, and it'll be Dafsian going for 200, which would give him a total of 365. At the moment, he's second in the clean and jerk rankings by virtue of being heavier than Lukanin, but it's the major prize. The Armenians yet to score with a gold medal here in an overall championship. Ten seconds. Well, he's done pretty well, David. You can't really fault his performance. Okay, he failed that particular attempt, but 360.
So what would the Russian need to beat him? Russian weighed in at 76.
He needs 13. He needs an extra 13. Well, needs 13 kilos because he's down on 347. He's lighter, Lukanin.
So he needs an extra.
He needs 13
kilos.
Yeah,
which is 208.
Yeah, which
he's done 211 then.
Yeah, but he's not going for it. He's going for 200.
Right.
I think what he's doing is he's going for the clean and jerk gold, and he's also trying to go for the overall medal. But can he do it? I wonder.
It's a shame he didn't get that first lift on 195, because he may have been able to go for 100.
Well, the applause is polite, but the audience here know that the effect of that lift is that their own man, Krzysztof Sramiak, has just been pushed out of the overall medal table. Lukanin has gone into silver overall. Markov has dropped down to bronze. 360 for Dafsian, Lukanin on 352, Markov on 351, and Krzysztof Sramiak of Poland on 350. And the bar going to 201 kilos for Stoitsev, I should say. Stoitsev, who weighed in at 76.55, is heavier than Lukanin, so he's going to have this one final attempt to try and grab the clean and jerk gold. If he makes it, he gets it. If he fails, nothing. For a moment there, I thought he was going to retrieve the situation, but I'm afraid it's nothing. It's not a gold medal. But what it does mean is that the 77 kilo championship goes to Armenia. It's their first championship of the 2006 European Championships, and the man who's done it is Georgi Markov. As you see, Stoitsov come pretty close, but in the end, not close enough. So Armenia, David, now moving up the medal table. And the only consolation for the Bulgarians, David, an overall bronze medal for Georgi Markov. 9 kilos off the pace. But if you compare the winning total there of Davtyan of Armenia, when Markov won in 2002, 367.5. When he won in 2003, he got there slightly different route, but it was still 367.5. Today, all he could muster was 351, and that in itself tells a story. Here, the clean and jerk results: a gold medal to the Russian Lukanen, 200 kilos there, securing that gold medal. Davtyan, well, he got the gold medal in the snatch, he's got the silver in the clean and jerk, and of course the overall gold. And Georgi Markov of Bulgaria getting the bronze medal in the clean and jerk, and also the overall bronze medal. And spare a thought there for Shramiak. Had he been a little bit lighter, he might have got the clean and jerk bronze, and had he found an extra couple of kilos, he might have got the overall bronze. It's hard to miss out, particularly when you miss out by the odd kilo. If you get beaten, David,